The Ohio Water Polo Referees Association, fostering the development of water polo officials.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name's Chad Packer. I'm the supervisor of officials for the Ohio Water Polo Referees Association. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to work the table today. Agenda, super quick. We'll talk about some rules to remember, how we're going to fill out a score sheet, how to run a game clock, how to run a shot clock, what are some things that the table needs to do, and if we're in person, we would do practice and some wrap-up questions, but we're just going to run through those first 5 things today. Some simple rules to remember. Don't panic. Really. Referees are really nice people. Most of us, you can see. Don't be afraid to ask us questions. Try and be thinking about making, some eye contact with the referees. Oftentimes, we'll be looking at you to see if you're ready. We might give you a real quick thumbs up or something like that. Or, kind of do a circle thing with our hand to say reset the shot clock. Or we might push down like on a plunger with our thumbs to communicate to you guys to start the clock. We are working as a team, right? There are 3 to 4 people at the table, 2 referees on the game. Sometimes maybe even 2 goal judges. So we really are all working as a team. Make sure you're paying attention to the game. Things can happen super duper quickly. So make sure that you're kind of paying attention to that, not getting distracted by cell phones or people asking you questions or whatever. If someone wants to lean over and ask you guys a question like a fan does, you can just either kind of tell us or you can just kind of say, hey, I'll get your question at the break or something like that. But remember, you are a part of the officiating team. This is kind of a thing. Try not to cheer too much. I understand that if you're rooting for XYZ high school and they score a goal and it was your daughter who did it or your son who made the big block, you want to feel that pride and joy. But also remember that there's somebody on the other side who might be watching you. And if the clock goes sideways against their team purely by accident or something goes wrong with the score sheet, that cheering can kind of maybe come into play there. So appreciate you guys are parents. I'm a parent myself. Appreciate that you want to cheer for people. But just kind of try and temper that as best you can. And rule number 1 again, don't panic. Everything can be fixed. It's not a big deal. Everything can be fixed. Okay. Now, if we talk about how to run the game clock, the primary job of this person is to start and stop the clock based upon the flow of the game, right? Every time there's a whistle, tweet, stop the clock. When that player clearly and visibly puts the ball in play, the referees will lower their arms. We're not always great at that. Sometimes we whistle it and just drop our arms before the ball is in play. We can help you guys by being a little bit better about that. But there's just this natural flow to the game, right? If the player does start moving with the ball and the referees don't turn the ball over, just start the clock. Don't be the the game timer who says, well, she never put the ball in play. It's kind of up to the referees to determine when the ball is in play, right? So remember, we're all kind of working as a team here. That might be something we would ask the referees a question in between quarters or something like that. So we talked about the second bullet point here. The other thing you want to do is keep score, right? Either by using the scoreboard or a flip chart. It's usually a scoreboard, but sometimes if the clocks aren't working or we have those little blue clocks that you see sometimes, the remote ones at tournaments where there's maybe multiple pools, sometimes they just use those old school volleyball things. Make sure that the scoreboard always reflects the score according to the scorebook. So you're just kind of reaching over to your partner and saying, hey, you got 8-5 here, you got 8-3. If there's a timeout, just kind of go back and check those things, right? One of the things we know that all fans love to yell is, fix the score! That's just their thing. So just got to be checking back and forth on that stuff. It's okay. There's a ton of stuff happening, and we can always fix it. But just kind of check on those things from time to time. The third job that you're doing, the tables can always kind of divvy this stuff up here, but you are monitoring the ejection time or the exclusion time, right? The more technical term is exclusion. There are 2 types of major fouls. We talked about penalty shots and ejections or exclusions. Only the exclusion foul causes a player to sit out for those 20 seconds. And I'm trying to use terms here. Referees use the term exclusion. Oftentimes people will still use the phrase ejection. So that's why I'm kind of going back and forth here. You want to take those 20 seconds off and make sure that the flag is raised when that player is ready to come in. Okay. So remember we talked about it was 6:36. Boom. Subtract 20 seconds. 6:16. She's eligible to re-enter. Again, the table's going to be figuring out when that white flag comes up or when the dark flag comes up. If a player has 3 personal fouls, you need to hold the red flag up so that we as referees know that player cannot re-enter the game, right? Oftentimes on a system 6 or higher, on the Colorado system and the Daktronics system, I think when you hit the eject, and it will say eject on there, when you hit the eject button, it will reset the shot clock. Every exclusion is a new shot clock. So when we do that, tweet, and we whistle that player out for 20 seconds, they get a brand new shot clock at 30 seconds. So make sure that's happening there. This is kind of what it's going to look like, right? There's going to be the shot clock's running over here. This is that reset button. Every time there's a shot, and a shot is something defined as a shot. It doesn't have to hit the rim like in basketball. It doesn't have to hit the goalie, or it doesn't have to hit the post, or it doesn't have to, do anything like that. If a player is at 7.5 meters and he rises up out and he throws a shot and that shot is blocked at 7 meters, it's a brand new shot clock. Okay. This is the start stop for the game. Okay. So tweet to press stop, pause and play, start, shot, reset, don't stop. Reset, let that clock keep running, right? So you basically have kind of your right index finger over here and your left index finger over here for resets. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about this button here in a second. Ooh, preview. Goals are going to be real simple. There's going to be a +1 for blue or dark, +1 for white. When that player is excluded for white, remember we did tweet. I talked about hitting that eject button. Generally, when that happens, it'll reset the shot clock automatically. Stop, eject, start. These two clocks will start running in concert with each other, that exclusion clock and the game clock. Okay. If we have to ever edit the time, stop, edit game time, and then there will be, it's not on here, there's another number pad that's going to probably be on the game clock where you would do 636. Now, something to keep in mind, some of these are very, very finicky, and what I've learned in time is that oftentimes if I were to stop and I were to say, can you reset the game clock to 4:20, please? Now, I'll make it easy. To 4:16. Sometimes we will stop, edit game time. Folks will press 4:16, enter. On the score clock, you're going to see 4 seconds and 16/100ths of a second, okay, or 4.16. So, edit game time again. 4:16:00, enter. And you will likely see 4:16.00. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick tip here. Sometimes on the eject time, we might have to do that. Stop, edit eject time if it was the A person. And can you edit the exclusion clock to 16 seconds, please? Stop, edit eject time. That's probably going to be 1:6, but it might be, again, if you see 1.6, no worries. Edit 16:00, and it will show 16 seconds. Kind of depends upon the system and what's displaying up on the clocks. Okay, so pretty easy here. Don't worry about these clear eject times. What that basically, if you really want to get into it, what that means is when a player gets excluded and there's a shot and a turnover and you reset the game clock, this eject time will still continue to show 11, 10 as that player is swimming in. If you really want to clean it up, you can, this is a double you have to press with both fingers. You can clear those off. I would just recommend just letting those suckers run right out there. Not a big deal. Okay. So that's kind of what this all looks like here. If a team calls a timeout, we're generally pretty good about keeping the time, but it would be super helpful if when you stop, white call timeout, start timeout, the timeout clock will immediately show up on the score clock, and then we'll be able to time those out, right? Something on a System 5, if you have a System 5 Colorado system, you will have to clear the timeout before you start the game clock. That's kind of a thing. Most have System 6s, so don't worry about it. Generally, on most System 6s, even if the timeout is running up there, as soon as you press start, it will clear the timeout and start the game time. Again, nothing really to worry about there. At the end of a period, you will see the console pop up. It will say begin new period, press any key, or you can just do period +1, right? If your times get a little whacked, and you just need to like get to the game clock or reset to the start of the period, you can always just kind of keep going period +++, down, 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 +++, down, down, down until you get to period 2, and you'll see 7 minutes up on there or 6 or whatever, and off you go. Super duper in-depth thing here on how to run a game clock, but I want you guys to feel comfortable doing it. So, how to run the shot clock. Every time the offense takes a shot, you reset that clock. The defense regains possession and is clearly in control of the ball, right? Then reset. Again, we're looking at this button right here, this reset button. If you're not sure that the defense has fully taken possession of the ball, don't reset the shot clock, right? So the rule of thumb is when in doubt, don't reset the shot clock, because sometimes white's on offense and blue kind of makes it like a real quick kind of half steal or whatever, and the shot clock or game clock operator will mistakenly think that that's a new shot clock or a new possession, and they'll press reset, and then white will take it back real quick, and now the blue coach is yelling, why is that a new shot clock? Why did they get a new 30? And it kind of puts the game just a little bit out of balance. So when in doubt, do not reset the shot clock. Referee calls for a neutral throw. That's that kind of the jump ball, we'll call that there. When the possession clock, that's the shot clock, expires, it's an automatic reset. If there's an exclusion or penalty, those are always new shot clocks. If it goes out of bounds over the end line, which is going to be a corner throw for the team who was on offense, or a goal throw for the team that was on defense, now offense, that's a new shot clock. If the ball goes out of bounds over the sidelines and the offense is retaining possession of the ball, that is not a new shot clock. If the offense throws the ball out of bounds, then the defense gets it. It's a new possession or a new shot clock. So, the undo reset button, I kind of teased this about 4 or 5 minutes ago. If there is that change of possession that you think, but it really wasn't, and you're like, oh, I hit that too quick, hit the reset too quickly. If you only hit the reset button one time, you can undo reset, and the old shot clock will immediately pick up. So 16, 15, 14, reset, 30, 29. Ooh, undo reset, 11, 10, 9. Okay, so now if you're a person that kind of likes to reset, when you undo reset, it won't get you back to what you wanted. It'll just get you back to the most recent time you pressed reset. Okay, so undo reset is your new best friend. What else does the shot clock or the game clock operator do? We've talked about this. You wave in the excluded players after 20 seconds. You don't wave the flag like it's a parade. Just kind of hold the flag up, a nice solid, arm up in the air with the flag visible to both teams in the pool, and the color of the player coming back in, right? So white or dark. If a player has 3 personal fouls, hold that red flag up in the color of that player's team. Okay. This is kind of the eye contact thing, right? Don't drop that flag until you've seen the referees kind of give you eye contact or give you a thumbs up or something like that. Because as long as that player has been visibly red flagged, she is not eligible to come back in. If she comes in, this whole thing in the rule book that we would do. But it really, really helps. If that player enters and she's not supposed to, and you're still holding that red flag up and the referees kind of turn and look, we can move forward with full confidence. Okay. So that's kind of what's happening at the scorer's table, right? Oftentimes, again, there's like 3 or 4 people at the table, right? Make sure that you're talking about who is doing what. Is the scorebook operator, is that person waving in a player? Wouldn't recommend it, but sometimes that person wants to do that because they know exactly what time it was. Do you have somebody just working the shot clock, right? Some systems have those plungers that come out, and you've got a start-stop scoreboard operator, and you just have a person hitting reset on the shot clock, right? Kind of talk about some of those roles and who's comfortable with what. And if somebody is there that knows what they're doing, kind of rely upon that person. Again, reach out to the referees. We will be happy to help you. We're all on the same team. Okay. So let's just kind of conclude this with this, right? You guys are an invaluable part of the game. The last bullet point, a good table makes the referee's job significantly easier when we don't have to worry about an incorrect shot clock reset. When there's an exclusion, the exclusion time starts immediately. When we're working together, right? Sometimes you'll get table workers that kind of, quite honestly, sometimes talk down to the referees. Like, I don't do that. Don't do that, because now everybody's getting on the defensive, right? Just like we coach our referees. Don't talk down to the table, right? Because you guys are our best friends out there. So I really appreciate you guys volunteering to do this. It is an integral part of the team. I love seeing the same parents on the sidelines all the time and just checking in with them. And, you get the freshman or sophomore parents to kind of jump in, and by the time they're seniors, we kind of get to know your kids. We really, really appreciate what you guys do, and certainly appreciate you taking some time to look at this video here. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me personally, or which would be through the email that's on our website, but I can give it to you. It's OWPRAORG@gmail.com. So OWPRA.org@gmail.com. Be happy to respond to you. If you would like me to come and train some of your parents or train some other folks, or to show up early and kind of walk you guys through some things, I'd be happy to do it. I guess that's all I got. If you have feedback for me on how to make this better or other things I can do, always willing to accept that stuff. So until I see you on the sidelines, have a good day.